now, the World Basic Boxing determined that you have to fight Keith Thurman again. We talk about this week about you won that fight because you want the revenge.
Yeah, I've wanted that fight for some time now. It's funny in the last year of him having injuries and not being able to fight. It kind of pushed me away from that fight. I said, you know what? Why would I fight someone who's not 100%? Or why would I fight someone who doesn't know if they can come in and perform the way he did when we fought back in 2016? It was, But when they stood up yesterday and said that was the mandated fight for me, I got kind of fired up, So I know that in my heart, it's definitely a fight that I still want. And whenever that opportunity comes, I'll be ready for it.
You have 30 days to negotiate that fight.
Yeah.
Do you consider Keith Thurman is right now in the state of mind, in the good way state of mind?
We will see. I think it's been a long time for him. I think that two things can happen. Either you move further away from it or you move closer to it. I'm someone who moves closer to it. I go a year without fighting, I get hungrier. He's gone a year and a half, almost 2 years, I think, without fighting. And, I think it's time that he's probably grown a little more hungry towards fighting. And obviously a big fight with me says a lot for him, So I think that the time seems to be right, and I think he'll be ready. He'll get knocked out.
Again?
The first one was a great fight. I think the second one will be even tougher for him. I'm a very visual guy, and there's not much I forget. So once I've been in the ring with you, I know what to expect. I know what to do, and oftentimes, more than not, it's a little harder for the guy I'm up against than it is for me.
What will happen if the fight with Keith Thurman didn't hit? You have to change your rival.
It doesn't matter for me. I don't know, man. It's a part of being a professional athlete. You got to be ready for anything. And a lot of things I do, I equate to the NFL, to American football, because I watch that all the time. Those guys know week by week who they're going to play, but they don't know the plays that are going to be run, throughout the game. So it's all about making adjustments on the fly, So that's how I live my life. I get ready for whatever's going on, and if by chance that changes, I'll be ready for the change.
If it's not Thurman, if it's not Danny Garcia, who do you fight? Because it's a hot division.
Yeah, it's a hot division. I don't know about the WBC. I know that they're talking about Jesse Vargas and the other fighter, Delorme, fighting for the silver title, which will put them right in line at, I think, number 2 or number 3 in the rankings. So that could be a possible next fight for me. Also, Ugas fought on my undercard, so that's a possible fight. And then also Andre Berto, who I just fought last year, he put himself back in line with the WBC. So in terms of the WBC, it's a little bit more definitive who I could fight. But overall, big fights out there. Even Errol Spence, who has the IBF, is a big fight for me as well. So.
In your spot, you are the person who everyone wants to rip the head off.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the type of pressure of it? For you, is pressure or not?
Not at all. Not at all. I thrive in it. I love it. I'm used to it. I'm used to it, man. I could tell you story after story, and I think the simplest way to say it is that I am probably the epitome of a competitor when you look around the boxing world. There are a select few that I could mention who I know have the kind of competitive spirit that I have, but it's very, very hard to come by. And when you talk about a champion becoming a champion and everyone coming after them, I would say everybody that has a belt in my division, they're always looking forward to that challenge and that next time that they can compete. And that's how I look at it. I look at anybody that's coming after my title, coming after me. I'm ready for it.
Judging about this subject, HBO is out of boxing,
Yeah.
and the boxing people are changing. The boxing is evolving. What are your thoughts about that? Do you afraid of Showtime say, okay, there's no more competition, I'm going to?
Yeah, no, Showtime's not going to do that. I think HBO they bowed out. I think the atmosphere for HBO boxing changed drastically once a lot of the fighters started to fight more often on Showtime. Excuse me. I think they probably felt like they couldn't compete anymore. A lot of international boxing in America, and that's not what the Americans want to see. They want to see and get behind their American fighters, and they weren't seeing that enough. And I think HBO probably recognized that and decided to let boxing go. I was really surprised because HBO has been on the forefront of big time boxing forever, and I was really shocked when I heard it, but. You got the Zone now, which is a app that you can stream fights on. You got Showtime. And then you got Al Heyman doing boxing and PBC doing boxing on Fox and CBS, NBC, like everywhere. So ESPN now. So it just, I think boxing just kind of moved away from HBO, and I think they recognized that and decided to hang it up.